Since its founding in 1994, Signature Sounds in Northampton has been behind the release of more than 50 albums featuring modern folk music, Americana, and more. In tonight's Life with Monte report, Connecting Point contributor Monte Belmonte talks with president and driving force Jim Olsen as Signature Sounds marks its 20th anniversary.
I'm inside the Parlor Room in Northampton, which is the home of Signature Sounds Records, a local record label. It's the recent home of Signature Sounds because Jim Olsen, head of Signature Sounds, this is a record label that you sort of birthed in your own home here in the Pioneer Valley, and it grew out of, and full disclosure, the radio station that I currently work at, WRSI. Tell me about the beginnings of Signature Sounds Records 20 years ago.
That's right, Monty. We started this label, we didn't even quite realize we were starting a business. The radio station at the time had a program called Homegrown, which is a local music show, and we wanted to do a fundraiser for the food bank of Western Mass. So we hit on the idea of doing a fundraising album called Homegrown Holidays, and rounded up a bunch of local artists, several of whom became Signature Sounds artists later on. And we made actually a series of homegrown albums. And in the course of putting those together and selling them in the community, we hit on the idea of actually starting the record label. This was, the first homegrown album came out in 1993. And within a couple of years, we were off and running.
And now you're celebrating 20 years of the record label this month. Name some of the other the notables or artists that you've worked with over the course of those 20 years that stick out.
We've worked with a lot of, when we started, we worked with a lot of primarily singer-songwriters, people like Josh Ritter and Aaron McKeown.
You discovered Josh
Richard
Ritter
Schindel.
right here at the Iron Horse.
That's right. Mm-hmm. Josh actually kind of discovered us and tailed me around for a while, mm-hmm. And convinced me that he needed we needed to work together. That was around the year 2000. So over the years, we've broadened the musical scope, included a lot more sort of touring bands as opposed to singer-songwriters, and it's just grown from there.
A lot of the artists are from this area locally, but some of them aren't. Some of them we sort of adopted locally. We see them here through Signature Sounds. You've had a great deal of success over the last year with Lake Street Dive.
Yes. Lake Street's a band that came together at the Music Conservatory in Boston and moved to Brooklyn, and we discovered them about 2009. First time I saw them, they were playing at the Rendezvous in Turner's Falls, mm-hmm. and there were 6 of us in the audience, 4 of whom I brought with me. And we watched them grow into what's become a huge success story.
And now they've sold out the Academy of Music as part of your 20th anniversary Signature Sounds shows, a bunch of other shows. Chris Smither is going to be there, a lot of the artists on the Signature Sounds roster. Starting a record label in 93, 94, the music industry was very, very different then.
Oh my goodness.
How has it changed in those 20 years?
You realize just how quickly technology changes things. When we started the record label, we not only had to produce CDs, but also pre-recorded cassettes, because that was the format that most people were interested in back then. Mm-hmm. This was the days of dial-up internet, so there was really no music industry on the web at all.
Right.
Much less digital downloads.
Just the sound of
Exactly.
That doesn't really count as
that
music.
doesn't really count as music. And there were no, it was really before the cell phone era. So it was a different age. And we progressed through that and watched the whole Napster revolution happen onto iTunes. And here we are today kind of moving from even owning product to people just going to streaming sites and streaming music.
Is it still, possible and viable to be a record label in 2014?
It is, but it's, I'm glad I'm not trying to start one now.
Yeah.
Having the years of experience and going through all the changes has given us a perspective on how we can do it and survive.
And the business model of Signature Sounds has sort of spread itself out into the music industry a little bit. You booked the Green River Festival for many, many years. Now it's officially your festival, yes. As well as promoting some other shows, both here at the Parlor Room and in other locations around the valley.
That's right. I mean, that's one of the ways we've sort of diversified our business, so we're not completely dependent upon selling music. We're also producing concerts a lot more now. As you mentioned, the Parlor Room here, we do 8 to 12 shows a month here at the Parlor Room. and at other venues throughout Western Mass and the festival.
So what does the future have in store for Signature Sounds for the next 20 years?
Hopefully more of the same. We love what we do. We are working with amazing artists, and you know, great music never goes out of style.